Welcome back. This week again, Hershey gets to go first. Thursday night at Memorial Stadium, they'll take on Springtown, an opponent they know pretty well.
Yeah, played them, last few years, but Springtown's 0-2, Hershey's 0-2. Neither one. Well, Springtown's been a little more competitive than Hershey has in their losses. They played Decatur really well. Had two receivers go over 100 yards in that game. Last week they didn't fare very well against Argyle Liberty Christian, but that's usually a pretty strong private school team. So no shame, I guess, necessarily there.
I thought Hershey actually made plays against Grandview's first unit.
Yeah,
they just had trouble finishing a drive because they'd have an offside penalty, or a
offside
mistake, and
they had
just
turnovers,
the little things that were keeping them from getting stopped.
Yeah, they had turnovers in the red zone too, and just constantly they had two guys go over 100 yards rushing last week. So I mean, there's some things there. There's some things for them to build off of. It's just a case of a young team, and they're tired of that excuse. I think everybody gets tired of that excuse, but that's the truth.
I just thought from everything I'd heard, and then I got to see them in person. They made big strides from week 1 to week 2, and so,
they had their moments, and that's a good Grandview team too to try to manage and stop.
And then on Friday night, Denton Geyer, one of the best programs in the state, comes to Wichita Falls to take on Ryder.
Yeah, Geyer has played 2 state champions the first 2 weeks. They're 1-1 against them. Beat Ennis last week, lost to Allen 2 weeks ago. That's a good team. That's a tested team. One of the best quarterbacks, high school quarterbacks in the country, and Sean Robinson. He's a TCU commit. He's a stud. I mean, he's a lot of fun to watch. He's only completing like 35% of his passes right now, but he's still a stud.
I think on my preseason thing when I was saying if I was just picking a game to go see, even though that may not look like it'll come down to the wire or anything, looks like Geyer's a lot better.
Yeah.
That'd be a game I'd want to go see, just to see how good they look before December when you may see them on TV, and to see Robinson play.
It'll be more competitive this time, right?
I think so. I mean, I think Ryder's O-line can keep them on the field. I think their O-line can probably keep the offense on the field a bit longer. I think they got a better chance in that regard. I mean, I think the game plan is going to be keep it on the ground and try to let your defense rest as much as it can, because you're going to need every bit. You're going to need all 11 guys to stop Sean Robinson.
Yeah, and then Wichita High doesn't play till Saturday night. They go to Kevlar Central. The opponents are probably getting slightly easier for them, even though Kevlar Central's 1-1, beat LD Bell, lost a tough one to a good Arlington Martin team. But the Coyotes are just digging too big a hole. That's what they've been doing. They fall down 30 points before they really start making plays.
Slow start. They just haven't seemed to really find that identity on offense, and I thought it could be Gaines there running the ball, but even though lines kind of struggle to protect both the quarterbacks and the running back, so they've got to find some kind of continuity
and
offensively.
And that blocking could all of a sudden click.
They can
within the next few weeks, and all of a sudden they would look like, because you kind of see some parts on offense, I think.
Yeah, there's just so much youth. Again, I mean, the same thing with Hershey. There's just so much youth, and that youth just rears its ugly head in most inopportune times.
Well, when we come back, we'll look at some Class 4A matchups and some of the area games you're watching.